Hello everyone, I am the Quad Professor coming to you from the Subwoofer Kinetics Lab, and today I have a public service announcement for you. Stop killing your subwoofers. So have you ever noticed how as a speaker breaks in, it starts to sound cleaner, better, louder? That, my friends, is the effect of breaking the speaker in. Now the speaker breaks in no matter what you do with it, but I'm advocating to you to follow a break-in procedure so that the speaker breaks in properly and you get long life out of it. The results of a speaker breaking in is that you get more of a linear controlled movement, you get cleaner, deeper bass out of a subwoofer, and you're able to put the same amount of power in and you get a higher output. Inversely, before it's properly broken in, you're going to have the suspension, which is the spider and surround, resisting the movement, and they're not broken in, they're real stiff when it's brand new. Before those are broken in, if you give it too much power, you can get uncontrolled movement out of the voice coil itself, so it's no longer linear. When it becomes erratic, that is seen as distortion. So you'll hear that back as distortion. As you're getting that distortion, you can damage the voice coil, you can overheat the voice coil. Just putting more power into the voice coil than it can dissipate the heat for is enough to permanently damage it. It can give you hot spots. You can actually tear the leads on the voice coil. You can tear the spider. You can tear the surround, or you could burn the leads going in, the tinsel leads going in. So you can cause damage to your speaker that isn't completely catastrophic. It's not mortal, but it will affect how that speaker behaves and how it sounds for the rest of its life. So you got to be super careful how you break them in initially. We used to use break-in CDs that we would actually get from an installer, and you'd run, sine wave sweeps, some sort of tone for hour after hour after hour till you broke them in at a lower level, you breaking it in higher and higher and higher. However, if you are disciplined, you can break it in using music. You can actually listen to the speaker, get the benefit of having the speaker while you're breaking it in. If you are disciplined, you absolutely must be careful. So the typical procedure that I've been following, and it's worked for about 20 years now, when I initially install the speaker, I will turn the level down. So a comfortable listening level, I'll turn it down to 30% of a comfortable, typical listening level. At this level, you can still have a conversation over the music. You wouldn't have to scream, you don't have to use sign language, you can hear each other. So I would do that for about 12 to 24 hours, being very careful, listening to music with a lot of variety to it. It wouldn't all be super bass heavy. I'm not putting TechMaster in and breaking it in using TechMaster. It's going to be some variety. You can be very careful. The second level is you then go to about 50% of your comfortable level. At 50%, at that point, you can't have a conversation with someone. You want to, again, run it for about 12 to 24 hours combined. So if it's an hour at a time, 20 minutes, you want to have that combined time be between 12 and 24 hours. The third level, that's where you're really getting the feel for it, and you have to pay attention because with different speakers, the break-in may take a little longer, maybe a little quicker. So as you're getting into that third level, I'm 80%, maybe 100% of comfortable, but I'm still not putting the beans to it. I'm being careful. As I'm going through this last cycle, I'm listening to the speakers. Do they sound like they're getting broken in? Do they sound good? Are they starting to get clean? Are they starting to get a little deeper? Is the response improving? If all those things are yes, again, 12, 24 hours, done. After that, I will start putting the wood to it, just increasing it. A typical break-in procedure for me, I drive between 40 minutes and an hour one way each day, so you're figuring an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. I'll typically run about a month before I really start to put it to it. If you're careful, your speaker will last longer. You don't risk damaging your amp. That's another thing to consider. If your speaker shorts out and it goes back to your amp, if your amp doesn't have adequate protection, you could really do some damage to your amplifier long term. It's in your best interest to just go through this break-in procedure. But again, discipline. Now, I learned my lesson. I had Kicker Competition 18s. I was ridiculously excited to have them. Installed them, ran them for a few hours, felt pretty good about it, turned it up too much, and one of them actually seized all the way up. I mean, just went up, welded. When we took it apart to see what had happened, I had run the voice coil up, probably to the point of distortion. It's an 18, it was exciting. And it welded itself right to the side. So the speaker was completely trashed. I had to go buy another one. I've been careful ever since. That was about 20 years ago. I've been super careful ever since. I recommend that you be careful too, because it's your music and you should enjoy it. Okay, buddy? All right. I am the Quad Professor, and I am out.